Hey everybody, welcome back into the Parker and the Man page at yournews.com. Mark Wilson with your webcam on this 20th of January 2010. And this is the kind of night, if you're a college basketball fan, it's January. It's not too cold, but it's got that hint of winter in the air. And you got a couple of nice, fat Big Ten basketball games involving your two Michigan schools. You got your Spartans at home tonight at Breslin against Iowa. Normally this would be a great game, but Iowa's not too good, and the Spartans have already beaten them once. And that's what the piece is on. It's on Michigan State's start here to 2010. It looks eerily similar to how Tommy Izzo and the Spartans began 2000, that run to the national championship. A lot of similarities. A lot of things look the same. The record's a little bit better this time at 15-3. They're 5-0 in the Big Ten, leading the Big Ten. They'd already lost the Big Ten game in 2000 at this point, but their three losses were to three major clubs, major schools, like it was in 2000. And look at the correlation between the guys and the team in 2000 and now. You could say that Calhoun Lucas looks like Mateen Cleaves. Raymar Morgan is Morris Peterson. Draymond Green plays the role of Andre Hudson, both called Dre. You'll go back, A.J. Granger could be Delvon Rowe. Corey Lucius and Chris Allen fill the roles of Charlie Bell and Jason Richardson. So there's a lot of real close similarities. I mean, it's kind of eerie how the things looked the same as 2000. Of course, what blows my mind is that now it's 10 years since the Spartans won the national championship. I just thought about that as I sat down, and I said, we'll get to that some other time. I'm going to do a whole piece, obviously, on the run to the national title when we get closer in March to March Madness. But I mean, 10 years can it be? 20 years since Breslin opened. 20 years ago, I'm standing there, courtside and watching MSU beat Purdue, and they won the Big Ten title that first year it opened. But it's been 20 years thereabouts since Breslin opened. Kenny Redfield, Dwayne Stevens, Dwayne now assistant coach with Mark Montgomery to Tom Izzo. Izzo is the one constant between 2000 and 2010, obviously, as we get this back in focus. I'm telling you, it's the white shirt, I think. White shirt's doing it. A little bit of fancy schmancy white shirt. So read the piece and check it out, because the Spartans taking on Iowa. The Hawkeyes at Breslin tonight, and that'll be 15,000 strong. I'll be out there as well, and that place will be rocking. That place will be happening. Breslin will for any Big Ten game now, obviously, up until the run. That was the year, too. I mentioned it, the big 51-point win over Michigan that year. They had some big victories. Similar, I'm telling you, read the similarities between 2010, and especially the way Izzo handles Calhoun Lucas like he handled Mateen Cleaves. They're very similar in that sense of how they direct floor leadership and all that stuff, and how Izzo talks to both guys, very similar. So we'll see what happens down the road. We'll see if there's a little foreshadowing here. But Izzo would tell me, don't even say that. He'd give you, and I mentioned this in the piece, the evil eye. All right, so there you go. All about Michigan State playing Iowa tonight, and the similarities between 2000 and 2010. Also, Michigan taking on Wisconsin at Madison. John Beilein, you have my attention, sir. Beating Connecticut over the weekend was a nice big win. A ranked Connecticut team, u-conn. And now we get the word that Jim Calhoun, after that game, has been told by doctors to go on a leave of absence. The Jim Calhoun of legendary lore in Storrs, Connecticut, who's won a couple of national titles. Rip Hamilton, of course, won a national title with him. Amika Okafor, all the NBA. Charlie Villanueva, Ben Gordon of the Pistons, all play for Calhoun. And George Blaney will take over the team for now. So the last game, it's possible the last game Jim Calhoun coached would have been the loss to Michigan in Ann Arbor. Hope not, because he's a fiery guy. He may not be the greatest dude you've ever met in your life, but you certainly respect his basketball acumen. And Calhoun on a leave of absence, and you just hope he's okay with, because it's a health issue. He's had a couple in the past, prostate and I believe a skin cancer issue, which he's beaten both. But doctors have told him to walk away from the game for a little bit, just like Urban Meyer was told at the University of Florida. So Calhoun does that at u-conn. And, of course, he's coached in more games by an active coach right now than anybody else, including Krzyzewski. Bobby Knight's not active. Krzyzewski and Jim Boeheim. So Calhoun's got him beat in terms of games coached in his, 35, 37, 38 years in the college ranks. Midway point of the NBA season is upon us. The Pistons are on line for 52 losses. Let me mark this out for you. 52. Last time they did anything that bad was 15 years ago. So things are not great. We all know that by now, and you can see what I read about the halfway point of the NBA season. Michael Jordan, remember him, Wasn't a bad player in his day. He was on Jay Leno last night, the Leno show, the last remaining Leno shows before he goes back to the Tonight Show. Takes his Tonight Show seat back from Conan. That whole drama. But Michael was on the 10 at 10 segment with Jay, and Jay had the nerve to ask him whether or not at the age of 46, going on 47, he'll be 47 in February, whether Jordan, Mikey there, can still dunk a basketball. You can read what what Leno said, what Michael said to Leno about whether or not Michael could still dunk a basketball. Because I'm going to clue you in. Michael Jordan still thinks he can play in the NBA. All right? He's told people that, and that's what he believes. The Buffalo Bills hiring of Chan Gailey. Now, everybody said, Gailey deserved a second chance. He was with the Dallas Cowboys. He coached in college. He's highly mediocre. A better coordinator than a head coach, but he gets the shot in Buffalo. A lot of people turn him down. I just don't know why Leslie Frazier, the Vikings, their defensive coordinator, doesn't have a head coaching job. He should be a head coach. There are 6 African-American coaches right now, I believe, in the NFL, and Frazier should make number 7. So he's still not got a job. And Steve Mariucci's still out there. The word is that Mooch wants to coach. He may get a shot. Could be Oakland before it's all said and done. But the Bills, Ralph Wilson, the Detroit-based owner, age 91 now, I think, Ralph Wilson, close 92. Speaking of 92, Ernie Harwell's birthday's next week, just to let you know. But Ralph Wilson is right there with Ernie. And Ralph Wilson hired Chan Gailey to replace Dick Duran. So there you have it. And the Wings lose to the Capitals. And right now, unless my math is off, the Wings are the 9th team in the West, and only 8 make the postseason. The 18 years run straight of making the playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, is definitely in jeopardy, baby. Ooh, so be careful about that, because Kenny Holland may have some work to do. He may finally earn his keep for a change during the season. He hasn't had to worry too much about this. They make the postseason the last 20 years for the most part, 18 straight, and the Wings are in jeopardy of not doing that. They're already at 49 games and counting in this NHL season, so Wings are now 9th. My math was right on that, or they're right there. They're at the cusp. They can still make the postseason, and they can still get a decent seed, but it's going to take a little effort here, and might not get cooking until after the Winter Olympic break, which is coming up very fast, a couple weeks. So there you go. Check it out. The piece on Michigan State basketball. Tonight's game against Iowa and the similarities between 2000 and 2010. Michigan, Wisconsin. Jim Calhoun goes on leave from u-conn, from Connecticut. Midway point of the NBA season. Jordan on Leno with the 10 at 10. The Bills hiring Gailey, and the Wings lose to the Capitals, and not looking good doing it. Okay? Although it was only 3-2. There you go. It's the Parker and the Man page, yournews.com. Log on early, log off often.